Hello, welcome back to Emerge, the health podcast for busy, high-performing women. I'm your host, Dr. Alex Swenson-Ridley. I'm pretty stoked today. We're doing something a little bit different. I am joined by Dr. Staci and Dr. Mel, who are both graduates of the PhD program that I've been working through in integrative medicine. And we met a couple months ago when they reached out to me and were like, hey, we have this thing and it's kind of functions in the quantum physics world and it's pretty cool. And so I tried it and I was like, hey, it's pretty cool. So I thought I would bring them on to talk about that. But before we launch into that, maybe each of you can just introduce yourselves a little bit, whoever wants to go first, but welcome to the show.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you for having us here today. My name is Mel. I have a background in naturopathy. I went to Quantum University to get my PhD. And that's where Dr. Staci and I met too and connected. We've been friends for a few years now through Quantum, and we've stayed in touch. So when I graduated, we were in contact, and this is when she introduced photobiomodulation to me, brought it to my practice, and the results were amazing. But, since then, we've been working with a lot of people. My practice focuses on gut health and repairing the microbiome. So I help people to avoid their food sensitivity testing I test their food sensitivity and then I ask them to avoid it. We use different type of naturopathic modalities, but yeah, just incorporating quantum modalities, naturopathic and food sensitivity testing. And right now I'm really excited to be working with you guys on this project that we're doing. So I'll let Dr. Staci introduce herself and this technology too.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Mel. Thank you, Dr. Alex, for having us on here today. So my practice is focused on nutrition and having a whole foods, plant-based primarily diet, using supplementation if necessary and detoxification. And so I have a lot of tools in my toolbox, being a holistic health practitioner for 20 years. And then of course, getting into integrative medicine several years ago. And so for me, utilizing the simple technology that we're going to be talking about today has had profound effects with my clients and the other practitioners that I work with across the globe, with Dr. Mel, of course. So we have found that we are seeing significant improvements with people. Things that we're already been doing have been expedited, right? And we've seen exponential results. So we're excited to be here today and to share this technology with all of you.
Yeah, so let's not leave the people waiting. Let's talk about what the technology is. So, all of us are trained in and have a background now in quantum physics, which I've shared some on the show, is kind of getting into, I would say, things outside the physical body. There's more to healing than just what we tend to turn to, which is, the food, the exercise, all that. I work, just so you guys have some background, with women in hormone balance particularly, and overcoming what I call selfless syndrome. And, a lot of times we're just looking for ways to get our body to work better, which this is that, and it's not a supplement and it's not really hard to use. So let's talk about it. What it is a patch that goes on the skin, and I'll let you guys kind of start to explain some of the science behind, because you have a little more background in it at this point than I do. But what is this?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a non-transdermal patch. And I'm sure you listeners out there are very familiar with transdermal patches, like birth control patches, hormone patches, nicotine patches, pain patches. Those are transferring something into the body. So this is not that type of modality. This is a non-transdermal patch, meaning that nothing is transferring in. And like Dr. Alex said, think quantum therapy, quantum modality. So this is called photobiomodulation or phototherapy. And what that means is light therapy, right? Light communicating with light. And so this patch, when you apply it to your body emits a low-level infrared light. We know that because we can see through night vision goggles at night. When you walk outside, you can't see your neighbor across the street or across the yard or the field unless you have night vision goggles. And then, of course, you can see that heat or light being emitted in different colors, right, through the goggles. And so when you apply this patch to the body, our body's light communicates with that patch. It reflects back a signal from the crystalline grid that's embedded in this patch. There's a crystal lattice structure, right? Or made up of organic amino acids and salts and sugars and water and oxygen. And so when we put the patch on our body's light is communicating with that, reflecting back a signal. That signal here's what is the amazing part. That signal increases our stem cell production. Now, let that sink in for a second.
Yeah, we might just need to say that again. It increases our stem cell production without any crazy, there's no fetal parts in this. There's nothing in there. It's just telling your body what to do.
No, this is a biophotonic exchange of information. And so there is nothing going into the body whatsoever. There are not stem cells going into the body. This patch is signaling your body to increase its own stem cell production. And stem cells are the holy grail of healing. We know that, right? Yep. Right. We have an abundance of them when we're young. That's why we're young. 5-year-olds don't have gray hair and 10-year-olds don't have back pain. And you sure don't see a 15-year-old with heart disease, right? They have boundless amounts of energy and their bodies are always repairing themselves. But we know by the time we're in our 30s, which many of you may be in your 30s or towards the end of that, your body's making about half the stem cells that it did when it was younger. And for those of you out there that are in your 60s, there's less than 10% detectable in your bloodstream. And so what that means is your ability to repair and restore and regenerate and rejuvenate your cells and tissues and organs is diminished. And by putting this patch on the back of your neck, CV7, or below your belly button each morning, Dr. Alex, allows your body to increase its stem cell production. You're going to leave it on for 12 hours during the day. And during that time, it's activating, elevating, mobilizing your stem cells, brand new, healthy, pluripotent stem cells. Pluripotent means they can turn into anything your body needs. They can turn into brain cells, kidney cells, liver cells, connective tissue, blood cells, whatever. Your body knows how to repair itself. And this technology signals your body to do just that. Get your body back into homeostasis, into balance.
Which is awesome because it takes all of the work that, we have to do in order to get there out and allows us to literally put on a patch, go about our day, and our body starts to work better. So, because I know both of you use this in practice as well, and I've been experimenting with it with some of my clients. What are some of the things that your clients notice, or how has it changed the process of what you're doing and working with people? I'd love to hear some of those stories just to give some people some.
Yeah, so I work mostly with digestive issues, and I absolutely love using the other supportive patches that the company has too. Obviously, stem cells are it, but the company does have about 12 different patches, and I like using SB6 to balance their blood sugar level, their hormones, and endocrine system. I like using glutathione, which would increase your own body's glutathione level by 300%. And sustain it for 24 whole hours. X39, obviously, Eon for inflammation. So it reduces your whole body's inflammation and puts the person in that parasympathetic mode. So those are my 4 favorites that I always use with anyone who's facing any type of digestive issues. And I've seen a drastic reduction in their food sensitivities, whereas usually even healthy people have about a list of 10 sensitivities. I've seen after using the patch, it comes down to 2 or 3 items. So that's how I've been using it in my practice.
Awesome. And Dr. Staci, I'll let you go in a second, but I've talked quite a bit on the show about coffee enemas, which until patches were the only way I knew to increase glutathione production by quite a bit, because they'll raise it up to 700%. And so, if you don't want to go down that road, I've shared, my journey and had other people come on the show and talk about it. This is a really nice alternative. It's just a patch. And I've been using the glutathione as well, and I really, really enjoy it. So, but Dr. Staci, what are some of the things that you've been seeing? And then I'll share some of my stories too.
Yeah, I'm definitely skipping the coffee enemas, but I'm thankful for the glutathione patch for sure. Simple and easy, right? But basically in my practice, what I've seen with people focusing on nutrition and detoxification, a lot of people know the healthy things to eat, right? I've educated them on that. They know the different ways to detox their body, but they don't always like to follow that. Right? Or they overindulge a little too much, a glass of wine here or there turns into a bottle here or there. And, one dessert turns into the next. And so what I have found with my clients, because obviously nutrition is the foundation, right? Just like Mel said, we have to have that healthy diet, that healthy, foundation for your gut. This patch works physically, like I mentioned, right? All your cells, tissues, and organs. It works emotionally. And it works mentally. And we know eating has a lot to do with emotions, right? And our mental state. And so using this patch, my clients have found that they are making healthier choices almost unknowingly to them. So they're starting, because their body's coming into balance, they're feeling better. They have more energy. They're sleeping better. They have more mental clarity. They're out of pain. They have more drive to actually, do some type of exercise, get their body moving. And so they're going for more of the greener vegetables instead of the brown or yellow things that they normally have on their plate. And they're really seeing huge improvements in all of their systems because of the food, right, that they're putting into their body. And it's helping them effortlessly transition into that. And so there's not so much emotional eating, mental, that kind of worry, stress, fear, those types of things that are going on. So, and not to mention, we deal with so many people that have autoimmune disorders, right? They're dealing with so many symptoms of autoimmune. And this patch is helping them to actually have an answer, right? Like, how can I get to the root cause of this simply, easily, and effectively, and cost effectively? And so dealing with both of those components with the nutrition and then also with the autoimmune, we're having huge success, far faster than anything I've ever seen in 20 years.
Yeah, I can definitely say that. I'm kind of newer than you guys at using this, but I sent patches to all of my clients, and I'm like, just try this and even, only using the X39 patch in particular is what I've been sending out. Like, it's like I get texts like, oh my gosh, I slept so well last night and I haven't slept well in like 40 years. Like, give me more. My child is choosing to be very interruptive today.
That's okay. We're busy moms, right?
We are busy moms. This is how we do life, and for myself, the first thing I actually noticed was I have a scar from having 2 wrist surgeries where they went through the same incision. And after you guys, sent me some stuff to try, it was like, I happened to see it in the mirror and I was like, huh? Because it's changed so much, and I was expecting it to just kind of always be very noticeable.
Yeah, well, our skin is our largest organ. And so with it being our largest organ, it tends to have pretty rapid effects pretty quickly. And so, when we have scars, I have a scar since I was literally burned myself with a curling iron in high school. And you can't even see it anymore on my arm, on my upper arm. And it was always kind of like in the spot, on your bicep. You're like, gosh, this looks horrible. Yeah. Like I just held it there, when I was literally like 13, 14 years old. So here I am now almost 50 and the scar is gone, like completely gone because of the regeneration of the skin.
Yeah, which is amazing. And so one of the things I have people asking me about, and I picked your brains on, is, like, how long does it take in terms of using this technology to see the kind of results that we're talking about? And like, is there a point where we ever stop? Which I think is just a fun conversation to have. So let's talk about that.
Well, okay, we can definitely talk about that. So the general rule of thumb is 1 month for every 10 years you are old. Okay. So if you're 40, 4 months, 50, 5 months, 60, 6 months on the stem cell activation patch, or just stop using it whenever you want to start aging again. Right?
I like that line. Yeah.
Again, because the patch literally, and we know this, Dr. Alex, from clinical studies, we've done over 90 clinical studies, double-blind, placebo, independent researchers' labs across the globe, places like Harvard, Oxford, Stanford, right? And so we can see that it literally stops the aging process and reverses the cellular age of our cells and tissues and organs. Their functionality literally becomes younger. And so when do you want to stop using the stem cell activation patch? Can you stop using it after 6 months? Will you turn into a pumpkin after you stop? No, you're not going to lose all your progress because it's regeneration, right? Your body will have regenerated up until that point that you decide you want to stop using the patch. And then from that point, your body will just continue along its progression of aging as it normally would, right? But we know that we have the ability from this technology to reverse our cells and organs and tissues back to 25 and be able to hold it there while we're continuing to live upwards of 150 and beyond and have the best quality of life, right? I know that sounds crazy. It sounds super sci-fi. This technology is at least 20 plus years ahead of the game, right? We know that. But knowing that it is important to get your body into homeostasis. So that's different for everybody. Maybe you've had fibromyalgia for 15 years, or you've had chronic fatigue or lupus for 8 years, or maybe you've been in 6 car accidents, right? How long is it going to take for your body to heal? That's very different based on the person. Know that you will experience benefits and results each day and week and month that you are using the patch. We know that, right? We can see that in our clients that we're utilizing this with. We have over 3,000 recorded testimonials of people sharing their personal experiences of things, symptoms they've experienced, how long they've been using the patch, and where they are now. And so we can say that, we do see things completely resolve. We're not curing or treating, of course,
Right.
but we can
Right.
see symptoms resolving and being eliminated, and people having a better quality of life. So for me personally, this is my philosophy. How long am I going to continue to exercise, 4 to 6 times per week? How long am I going to continue to get, 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night? How long am I going to continue to eat a whole foods diet, healthy foods? How long am I going to continue to detox my body on a quarterly basis at least? How long am I going to continue to practice deep breathing and meditation? Those are non-negotiables, right? Those are things that I've been doing for years, things that are not going to come out of my routine. And so stem cell therapy has always been something I wanted to have in my routine. I've literally been researching stem cells for 20 years. I banked both my kids' cord blood, and I spent over 10 years doing traditional types of stem cell therapy in and out of the country with my daughter after a brain bleed and complications when she was 4. And so for me, I've wanted stem cells, but they're so expensive, right?
Yeah.
They're controversial depending on where you're getting them from. And of course, there could be potential side effects of them dividing incorrectly. When I found this technology over 14 months ago, immediately I was on board for myself, my husband, of course, my daughter, and my son, to be able to help us to increase our own, no side effects, right? Nothing harmful, nothing going to the body for the price of a cup of coffee a day. So it's something that my husband and I are utilizing to make sure that we live long, healthy, vital, vibrant lives, preventing things like heart disease and diabetes and cancers and Alzheimer's and dementia, and the list goes on of autoimmune, right?
Right.
So that's my take on it. And as for Mel, who's
it.
24, this woman's never going to age a day in her life. She's going to stay 24 forever.
Yay.
That's awesome. Yeah. And, I think and there's such a push, it seems like these days in terms of the anti-aging therapy and, medicines and all that. And so much of what is out there is so invasive, or it's not really, stem cells literally are helping your cells live longer, like the telomere, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's actually like shortening how quickly telomeres shorten, because shortening telomeres are a part of how we age, and eventually when they're gone, then we die. So that's essentially really basic breakdown of some cellular biology there, but amazing. So, and we can share more of kind of how to find out more information and get started. But is there anything else we haven't covered that you guys want to share? Because, I'm coming on board in this journey and, enjoying it and just really loving seeing what's happening with my clients in it. But you also don't have to be a client of any of ours in order to utilize this as well. So,
Dr. Mel.
Yeah, so what I like to use, we actually have a book that was made by an acupuncturist in our team called Selfhealing with Light. And basically, it's really important for us as the doctors in the team and anybody who's a wellness advocate or healer or light worker that wants to do this with us, because that book literally shows you, like, someone comes to you and says they have Parkinson or MS or whatever. This person has figured out the exact meridian points that they can use the patches on for exactly how many days. And it's been an amazing part of my practice to be able to help more people. So there are a lot of resources because we work with so many doctors and everybody specializes in their own field. We are able to get more feedback and see what type of tests or modalities or acupuncture points we can use for different conditions. So it's really beautiful to be able to work together and share this wearable light technology with as many people as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we wrap up, let's just really quick touch on why meridians and acupuncture points are so powerful in terms of body healing. And this is getting into some integrative and quantum, medicine that we're bringing together here. But
yeah, absolutely.
Whoever wants to jump in, go for it.
We know we are energy, and our body is made of energy, and meridian points are basically our neurons energetic pathways. So if we can utilize, we can't technically see them, but they're connected. So if we can utilize different points, they can have even a more deeper effect on our body. So if somebody has kidney issues, if we use the kidney meridian, and let's say the stem cell put it on the kidney meridian instead of the back of the neck, then it has a deeper effect. Or if somebody wants to work on their liver, then of course we want to use the glutathione on the liver meridians in our body. Now, some people have some type of a polarity issue, and this is where Dr. Vienna would be a perfect person to interview when it comes to acupuncture points. And she's got so much knowledge and information on this. We can totally have her on too. But basically, some people have reverse polarity. So their body is not functioning in the right energetic formation. So like with the energy enhancer, which the white patch goes on the right side of your body and the tan goes on the left, you would actually want to switch that up. So there are tests like the sway test and things like that you can do, or even muscle testing to see if this patch is going to be good for your client or not. But yeah, it's like so vital. Even the governing meridian, that's the main meridian. So that's why we like to use the X39 on the governing meridian for that more impactful effect. So yeah, it's just an added benefit. Obviously, you can stick it on anywhere. You can stick it on your hand if you wanted to and go about your day. It doesn't matter. It's systemic. It works with your whole body. But we like to use all modalities that we can for a significant result.
Yeah, and also I'd love to add to that, Mel, so obviously TCM is over 6,000 years old. Yeah. Right. It is not new. But this technology, even though this technology was actually invented by David Schmidt over 17 years ago, it is very forward thinking, right? It is very futuristic. And so you're combining, ancient practices with modern day technologies, even beyond modern day technologies. And so using the meridians, that's what was done in every study. The clinical studies show that when you apply the patch on a specific acupuncture point, it is going to cause a specific result inside of the body. An effect, right? For example, the SP6 balancing the endocrine system placed on, the inside of the left leg, for example, right? That is going to do something very specifically than as if you just stuck it on, the back of your neck, right? So you want to look at, of course, each patch has its own instruction booklet and say, well, here are the places I'm going to apply this to improve the functionality of my endocrine system. And that's why we have utilized these points, because of their effectiveness, the obviously 6,000 years worth of proof that TCM is real and live and very effective, but being able to not just put a needle in a spot for a short period of time, but actually have a technology that signals the body to do something over a 12-hour period that you leave that patch on, the effectiveness is far greater. And all of our clinical studies show that. We have all of our 90 clinical studies open and available for all of you to be able to check them out yourself. So you can see that this is real, right? All of our patches have patents. Our stem cell activation patch actually has a 20-year patent on it. And we're only 2 years into that patent. So know that this is a technology that you're only going to be able to get through Dr. Alex, right? So please get back with her and she can help you, customize, answer your questions, because I know we kind of talked about several different things on here.
We did, yeah.
We want to keep it simple for you too.
Yeah. So, and in keeping it simple, and I'll put links in the show notes of, where you can find more information. And then also most of our listeners should know how to connect with me, but in case you don't, it's all in there. So awesome. So, and kind of wrapping this up and just, I wanted to bring you guys on and share just because it's something that I found and been like, holy crap. And then all my clients are like, holy crap. So I wanted to get it out there because it's so different. And, it's not a pill you have to take, and you don't have to, push yourself to do certain things if you're not ready for that yet. It's kind of like we start getting your body working better. And then as you all shared, we naturally start making better choices. I've been using some of the other patches like SP6 and the glutathione, and it's like, I don't really want the chocolate. That usually is like calling my name when I'm on my period, which I am right now. And like, nope, just like, I'm like, yeah, so no, just seeing those shifts and the cravings and all that has been really interesting. So Yeah. So any parting thoughts as we wrap this up?
I would say that this is going to be the most effective, simple, and affordable thing you have ever utilized in your entire life. So if you're thinking, I don't know, this sounds crazy, this maybe sounds too good to be true, I don't know if this is even real, just trust us.
Yeah.
This literally will make the most impact in your life. And for the people that you care about, that you want around with you, you want them to have the best quality of life. You want people to feel good, right? To sleep good, to have great conversations and have their mental faculties about them. And just a general sense of well-being, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. This is the technology that does that. And I've seen it literally with thousands and thousands of people over the last 14 months. It really is making that massive of an impact.
Awesome. And huge and all the things. So
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, ladies, for coming on and geeking out with me a little bit, because I'm still geeking out about all this. And for our listeners, all the links will be in the show notes. So definitely check that out and reach out to me if you've got any questions or, what I was going to share, the company even has a very generous return policy, because I stand so highly behind that it will make an impact.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, very cool. Well, I appreciate you both. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Alex. I love it. Anytime.